It started on an unassuming June day. A Something Awful goon decided to make a simple post. What to do with my old GameCube? This is a question with an extremely simple answer. But instead, what would follow involves the explosion of a gun, scatological forensics, and a blown-off finger. None of this involves a GameCube, by the way. What we will observe today is either a series of inspiring displays of devotions to an online community, or a disheartening example of how people disregard creative options to wallow in being fucking gross. Maybe you think that this is all cool. Maybe you'll just love to make fun of everyone involved. Or maybe you'll despair, knowing that humanity can fall this far. Today, on this wonderful episode of Tyler Talks, we are going to be looking into the Something Awful GameCube thread. This odyssey begins, as all great things do, with a very unassuming post. User DeathTramp would make a very simple thread on June 9th, 2011, stating, okay, so I have this GameCube. It looks like this. If I sell it, I get at most $20. But I've seriously asked my friends to take it from me and no one wants it. So I thought I'd ask Something Awful. What do I do with this GameCube? This is a very simple problem with some very simple solutions, such as donating it to charity, with goons providing links to organizations such as Child's Play, Home of the Innocents, and Get Well Gamers. But those options are not funny, and such they will all be discarded. In their place, we will be looking at more funny options, such as hollowing it out and turning it into a hat, turning it into a robot friend, or here's user Rancor suggesting to make it both a fleshlight and a bong. Everyone, say hello to Rancor. You might need to remember him for the future notice. By this point, we've gotten 4 pages in, nothing's really going on, until forum moderator Gravy Jones enters, stating that the original poster has to do one of the funny things and post the results, or they will ban them. Ignoring such a challenge from a moderator on Something Awful is something that you really shouldn't do. Mods can and will ban you for pretty much any reason. Abiding by the challenge is strongly encouraged, since it costs $10 to unban you, and it also already costs $10 to make your account, so you'll be down $20. But since DeathTramp didn't respond immediately, advice kept coming in, with goons suggesting to grow a watermelon in it and make a cube watermelon. Of course, a toilet bong sex hole. Oh, good. DeathTramp finally returned. Now she's going to do one of the cool activities people came up with. Well, this is going to be so cool. I would like to open this up to a vote. Either I donate it to a charity, or I throw it off a building onto the pavement. Savor and enjoy all of these fun suggestions, because from this point, any semblance of sanity will just go out the window. Oh, also, I should mention, DeathTramp never really did anything with the GameCube, so she got banned. Oh. Her saga doesn't matter anymore. Who cares? Yeah. 10 pages of comments, and still no poo-poo taken on it. How hard is it to drop a deuce? I am disappointed. These are the words stated by user Maximus Crapatocolosis. The idiom, be careful what you wish for, because it just might come true, is a common idiom that cautions against making desires without considering the potential negative consequences. This is something that Maximus should have considered before he sent that. Enter Stage Right, Scavenger 101, who posts just this simple photo of a Sega Dreamcast. He would state, I have a broken Dreamcast that I will poo-poo in to save the thread. And as he said, to poo-poo to save the thread, and as he said, to poo-poo in this Dreamcast, he decided to take an IPA with copious amounts of laxatives, with goons giving wonderful advice, such as, don't strain, trust me, you'll burst a blood vessel in your head, as stated by user Gnarly Hotep. Wonderful advice from this fecal fanatic to help our dear hero out on this fecal funny adventure. By God, this man is truly mad! This must be so crazy, so impossibly insane that this will shock the fucking world for years to come. He must have pooped on the Dreamcast. But this man has lied to us. This is not a doo-doo fecal funny. This is very clearly just chili that he dumped onto the Dreamcast. While this man proclaims his innocence, goons suddenly become shit smear analysts, with forum user Crankit analyzing the splatter. He would determine that the kidney beans and meat chunks are much more similar to a stag's chili than to doo-doo caca. But despite the onslaught of doubt, Scavenger has one final thing to say to us. Regardless of how this turned out, I sort of had fun, and I swear I really did poop on my broken Dreamcast. However, I cannot offer nothing more right now, as I am out of poop, and at some point I have to go to sleep, seeing as how I have to be at work in 5 hours. Man, this thread has been kinda shit. As user TestTubeBaby states, 1. A GameCube has not been turned into a sex box. 2. A Dreamcast had a can of beans poured onto it. This continues to be the most wasted potential of a thread in some time. I fully agree with this statement, but luckily, we're only on page 16 of 54, so stay tuned because more is to come. But I'll preface this. A lot of what happens next is a bunch of stuff that I can't really show you, because if I did, I'd probably get banned off of YouTube. So, I'll just post the thread. So, luckily, in the thread, someone made a highlight of all the events that happened. So, that's going to be in the description so you can follow along, I guess. But in the meantime, just use your imagination for everything. In rapid succession, we get on June 15th at 2:59 p.m. poop on a console is finally achieved, with someone pooping on a Nintendo 64. Following that, on June 17th at 7:52 in the morning, Rancor, I told you to remember him, poops in a PSP disk drive. I can't show that, but it fits. On June 18th at 4:18 in the morning, emails of splooge, we'll call it that, on a TV remote was also achieved, as well as an email to Rancor of doo-doo in a VHS player. In the span of only 3 days, things have escalated way too quickly. From a thread of just wasted potential, we move to pure fecal funnies. User Dino Zombies Go Raw made a bunch of whimsical suggestions, but nobody took them really seriously because they were all playing with their own shit. So he decided to make a new proposal. He saw that nobody cared. He probably sighed in disappointment, and decided to follow through himself. He stated, you could buy a whole bunch of sparklers, and by a whole bunch he meant at least 100, preferably several hundred. You would remove the powder from the wires, fill the PS2 with the powder, and use the last sparkler as a wick. And since sparklers are available and super cheap, this is pretty easy. He gives a warning that this will create a massive fountain of sparks, perhaps 8 feet tall, It can't be put out with water until it's done. Might want to light it outside. One $5 PlayStation and $20 worth of sparklers. The checkout girl was all, "So, you having some sort of party?" And I was, "You bet your ass." He would then show $20 worth of sparkler material separated from the wires, the PlayStation, the powdered sparklers, a fire extinguisher, some water, a lighter, and a few spare sparklers. Bail money as well, a fully charged camera, which is good, a cardboard tube so that you can pack the material into it. He would then leave to this abandoned factory, stating that if he didn't post photos in about an hour, he was probably under arrest for criminal trespassing and attempted arson. This sparkler adventure, blowing up the the PlayStation with the sparklers, would have been a great stopping point. No one got hurt. Plus, we're not ending this on a gross note. Then Chaos Dawn stumbled upon the thread. He didn't have a console to desecrate or blow up, so a dead goat on his farm would have to do. Obviously, I can't show you this, but just imagine, a goat exploding, more or less. There you go. Wasn't this thought about GameCubes or something? Is there someone at the door? Ah, yes. It's just the 5 pounds of thermite Rancor ordered. Why does he have thermite? Well, earlier in the thread, he stated that he'll pour thermite into the GameCube, wrap it up with a ribbon. 4 pounds of thermite could go a good way, but I'm getting the impression that the ribbon is more of a thin wire than something that will make a good show. I still have to leave enough for the propane tank too. Aren't the things that could injure you the most exciting? Indeed they are. Also, I guess he found a dead wombat on the side of the road. It's apparently gonna get involved, but it didn't because it smelled yucky. But okay, so in the thread we get some cool thermite things, and they look pretty cool. And 3 minutes past midnight, Rancor sets off into the sunset to finish his little thermite experiments. He states, "I have no idea what I'm doing. All I've learned about it came from Mythbusters. I'm going to get burnt, and y'all are gonna see every bit of it. Don't forget, I'm going to burn up a propane tank for grilling too." He would also state, "Don't worry about me getting injured. I've gotten 2 plywood sheets to set up. 50 feet should be far enough, right?" A single post could change everything you ever thought you knew about where a thread was heading. Or perhaps, by now, you knew this would eventually happen. At hospital. Lost fingernet. Post-mort later. And that was the last we heard of Rancor. People were like, okay, well, fuck, I guess someone died. But then a day later, he would return, promising pictures, and also, he's now a enigmatic character named Ben. What happened to the pinky he lost? You may be wondering right now. It was the humble can of hairspray that took it out. Apparently the police also got involved in this, but Rancor had the perfect alibi. He was simply hunting rabbits, you see. They were infesting his grandma's lawn. So, he killed one, or so he thought, because when he went to pick it up, it bit off his pinky. Of course, the only thing he had to cauterize the wound was black powder, and that's why there was so much black powder on his finger. The cop somehow bought that. So we also get a few photos of the fire, the cool fire, and also of the finger. but I can't show you the finger, so I apologize about that. In conclusion, is there anything we can really learn from this? Nope.